When you're scrolling through endless laptop options, the biggest question is always the same: will this machine actually fit the way I play and work, or am I just buying a shiny sticker sheet? I get that hesitation, especially when the price tag looks like a mid-range gaming desktop in a portable form. In this review, I'm going to walk through what the GIGABYTE Gaming A16 really offers in day-to-day use, where it saves you money, and where it might end up costing you more in frustration. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the A16 isn't trying to be a fine and light ultrabook. Its chassis is about 19.5 mm thick and opens to a full 180-degree hinge, which means you can flip it flat on a desk for a tablet-style experience or prop it up for a traditional laptop stance. That flexibility is useful if you switch between long gaming sessions on a desk and quick sketching or note-taking on the couch. The screen is a 16-inch WUXGA panel with a 165Hz refresh rate. It isn't a 4K display, but the 1920x1200 resolution paired with that high refresh makes fast shooters feel smoother without draining the battery as aggressively as a higher pixel panel would. The heart of the machine is the Intel Core i7-13620H. In the wild, that chip handles modern titles and content creation workloads without throttling, provided you keep the cooling vents clear. I've seen users run titles like Cyberpunk 2077 and Elden Ring at 1080p with medium-high settings and still stay around 5060 frames per second, which is respectable for a laptop in this price bracket. The RTX 5070 GPU, based on NVIDIA's Blackwell architecture, pushes that a step further. It brings DLSS 3.0 into the mix, so games that support it can climb a few extra frames while preserving visual fidelity. For creators, the GPU's CUDA cores make Adobe Premiere or DaVinci Resolve render times noticeably quicker than a typical integrated solution. Now, let's talk about the practical side of owning this thing. The A16 ships with a full 1TB NVMe SSD and 32GB of DDR5 RAM. That's a comfortable amount of storage for a library of AAA games plus a few large video projects, and the RAM ensures you won't be swapping when you have dozens of browser tabs open while streaming. The SSD's speed is on par with other high-end laptops, so game load times feel snappy, and large files transfer in seconds. The real hidden trade-off here is heat. The 13620H and RTX 5070 generate noticeable warmth under load, and the slim chassis means the fans have to work harder. In a well-ventilated room, the laptop stays in the high 30s Celsius range, but on a soft surface like a bed it can creep up to 45 C, which may trigger thermal throttling after an hour of intense gaming. If you plan to game on the couch, a cooling pad becomes almost a necessity. Battery life is another realistic metric that often gets glossed over in marketing. With the 76Wh battery, you can expect roughly 3 to 4 hours of mixed use on YouTube, a bit of browsing, and maybe a short indie game. Push it with the RTX 5070 cranking at 100W and you're looking at an hour or less. That's typical for a laptop that's built to deliver desktop-class graphics, but it's worth noting if you need long unplugged sessions. One of GIGABYTE's newer features is GIGABYTE, an AI-driven assistant that lives in the sidebar. In practice, it's a quick access launcher for system tweaks, game mode toggles, and performance monitoring. It's not a full-blown virtual assistant, but it does let you toggle a game profile that ramps the GPU clock and dims background processes with a single click. For someone who wants a one-button performance boost, that's handy. The downside is that the AI prompts can feel a bit generic and occasionally pop up during gameplay, which can be distracting. If you're a minimalist who prefers to tweak settings manually, you might end up ignoring it anyway. Who should consider the A16? If you're a mid-range gamer who wants to play the latest titles at 1080p with smooth frame rates, and you also dabble in video editing or 3D modeling, this laptop gives you the horsepower without forcing you into the premium price tier of 4K, RTX 4080 class machines. It's also a good fit for students who need a robust Windows 11 environment for coursework, simulations, or design classes, and who appreciate the 180-degree hinge for sharing the screen in a group study. The 32GB of RAM is a future-proofing bonus that will keep the system responsive as software demands rise. Who should skip it? If your primary concern is ultra-portable gaming, say, you travel constantly and need a laptop that fits into a small backpack, there are lighter options with lower-power GPUs that stay cooler and last longer on a charge. Likewise, if you're chasing the absolute highest visual fidelity with ray tracing at 1440p or 4K, the RTX 5070 will start to show its limits, and you'd likely need to drop settings or accept lower frame rates. Finally, if you're a strict budget shopper, the price point of the A16 sits above many competing laptops that